Hi, my name's Tom Maetzel. I'm a licensed real estate broker in the state of Wisconsin and a licensed realtor in the state of Nevada. I've successfully closed about $100 million in transactions, and today I'm going to answer a question that I hear pretty regularly from my clients. What's the difference between the assessed value of a home and the appraised value of the home? Assessed value is for tax purposes. It's what's the government, the taxing entity in your state says the home is going to be worth for tax purposes. Now that may represent fair market value, it may represent significantly less, but it is used to calculate how much you're going to pay in taxes on that home. So please keep in mind that the assessed value may or may not have a relationship to what homes are selling for in your area. Primarily it's used to establish the value, once again, for tax purposes. Now, when your assessment's lower, it may or may not actually lower your taxes. What happens is your county, your state, or whatever is your taxing body needs a certain amount of revenue. If the assessments fall across the board and they reassess everybody at a lower level, they still need the same amount of money. So what you'll typically see, especially in like the Midwest states, like a state of Wisconsin where I'm from, is they simply raise what's called the mill rate. That's the tax rate per thousand of value that the government says your home is worth. So when you get a lower tax assessment, you may or may not have a lower tax bill. Also keep in mind that when you buy a property and you pay over assessed value, in many states they will automatically reassess you to the higher value. In the state of Wisconsin, if you pay less than assessed value, they will not automatically lower your value to the lower value. You actually have to go in and appeal your taxes. So you need to check on how that actually works in your state because it can vary from state to state. Now the appraised value is what the bank says it's worth for lender purposes. If you're paying cash for a property, you can or cannot have it appraised. It's just your estimate of value. If you want to have it appraised to make sure you're not overpaying, you can. If you're getting a loan on a property, it will be appraised. The lender is going to establish an estimate of value, and these estimate of values tend to be pretty conservative right now. Appraisers, and I have several of them who are friends of mine, are very concerned about overappraising anything because of the government regulations can make them liable. So in many cases, we see appraisals coming in lower than the actual offer price. If your appraisal comes in lower and you're the seller, you have to decide. In many cases, the buyer is going to ask you to lower your price to appraised value. Because if you do not lower your price to appraised value, the buyer has to bring in the difference. For instance, let's say you have a sold home at $200,000. The appraisal comes in at $190,000. Well, in order for the buyer to close, the bank's going to require him to bring in whatever the down payment was for the loan at $190,000 plus the additional $10,000. Most people in a market like today do not want to pay over appraised value. So then you as the seller have to determine if you're actually going to lower the price. When I was working a lot of time out in Vegas, what was happening was that the appraisals were all coming in light, especially on the bank-owned property, so people were offering more than they were asking to try to get the transaction, knowing that the appraisal would come in lower, forcing the lender to lower the value because the lender owned the property. The lenders figured that out very quickly, and now they have addendums which say if you over whatever you offer, you're going to pay regardless of what the appraisal is. So if the appraisal is low, once again, $200,000 is the value, or the selling price. You've got an appraisal at $190,000. Let's say somebody's using an FHA loan with 3.5% down. The likelihood of them being able to bring in the extra $10,000, even if they want to, is unlikely. So please keep in mind, assessed is for tax purposes. Appraised is what the lender says it's worth. If you have any more questions, you can visit our website at homewithtom.com. That's homewithtom.com, or you can go to our blog at madisonhomesales.com, where we have additional videos and information to help you in the purchase or sale of your home. Thanks, and have a great day.